Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I ran 5K every day for a month. So before we get started, make sure you give this video a massive thumbs up and click subscribe if you haven't already, because I've just ran 5K every single day for a month for YouTube, so I hope you appreciate it. Anyway, so where to begin? Let's just give you a little bit of context. This year, I haven't been running much at all. I did a marathon in March, so that's like 7 months since March, and I haven't been running. I've been just keeping up with my normal fitness and training, doing a variety of everything. So the reason why I chose this is because I wanted to get a little bit better at running in this period of time, and when I started on day one, I really wasn't run conditioned at all. So in the process of 1 month of running, I lost about 2 kilograms, from about 79 kilos to 77 kilos, which I am now. And the reasons why I wanted to take on this challenge is because I wanted to, of course, get better at running. I wanted to see what happened to me physically and in fitness over that period of time, but also motivate and inspire the people that have been following me to see what they can do every single day as well, because it's freezing every single morning and it's not easy at all on your mind or your body. So I put this out on Instagram and I've got a bunch of questions to answer that you guys have asked me, so let's go through them. But before I go through those questions, I'm just going to talk a little bit more about my experience through the month. On day one, like I said, I was quite unconditioned. I did about 29 minutes. It was hard, it was slow, my knees were uncertain, my legs were quite unconditioned. And yes, I'm a fit guy, but running is running. And if you don't run very regularly, then you're not normally very good at running from just going out for a run if you haven't practiced it. Through the process, I made sure that I didn't go out and try and smash a PB, because if you increase the intensity, then your recovery is going to be a lot harder and you're going to have to go out again tomorrow. I wanted to get better and faster naturally without pushing it, and that's kind of what happened. Over the first 10 days, I was getting faster and lighter, but I wasn't trying to push myself any faster. And I was bringing my times down to about 27, 26 minutes and did a couple of comfortable 25s. I was also weight training and lifting in the gym 4 or 5 times a week as well. So I wasn't just running. So after a leg day, the next morning it was tough. So then I really felt that when I was running the next morning, and it was a good 29, 30 minutes on those occasions. Also, I've been dealing with a really niggly, annoying knee for most of this year, and I'm really struggling to find out what the issue is, whether it's tightness in muscles, weak, or something else. I don't really know. But I thought running might not be very good for it. But guess what? After running consistently, days and days and days, it started getting better. So sometimes when we have an injury, it might not actually be that it's overworked or that it needs to rest, because I'm always trying to rest it. Sometimes it's just weak and needs activation, needs strengthening. Of course, I've had some tough knee days if I've pushed it too hard and it needs a rest, but generally speaking, it's got stronger and more comfortable. So I think the running has actually increased the strength in my legs, obviously, and my knees got better because of it. In the final week of the challenge, I got a few 26s and 27 minutes, and then today, this morning, I went out there and pushed it a little bit harder to see what I could achieve, and it was 23 minutes. So that's a good cut of 7 minutes in 30 days. And you can check all of this on Strava. Add me, Alex Crockford, on Strava if you want to see my mileage and speeds and things like that. The biggest, most important thing I want to talk about on this video is recovery and rest. Do I recommend you go out and do this every day? No, most probably not, unless you're super fit, where it's so easy it doesn't impact the body. But just because I did it, it doesn't mean that I recommend doing it for you. Maybe I should have said that at the very beginning of doing this challenge, because when talking about it on Instagram and everywhere else, people were saying, oh, I'm gonna do what Alex is doing. I'm like, actually, that's not a good idea. I didn't say you should, I'm just saying I'm doing it. Recovery and rest is number one, and you shouldn't go out and run every single day if you wanna get better at running, because you have to have the time to recover. And on this topic, on day 18, so over halfway, I got ill. Guess what? It's cold outside. I was running every day. I was weight training. I've been trying to get leaner, so my nutrition is on top form, and I got ill. I got a bug, so I took the day off. On day 18, I did not run because I wanted to prioritize recovering and getting better so I could keep going in the long run rather than making myself worse and worse and worse. And I briefly just touched on it there. Nutrition is so important. I take my nutrition extremely seriously. So the 2 kilograms that I've lost, yes, of course, it's down to the running and my step count and my overall training, but my nutrition is number one. I've been so good. I've been in a calorie deficit because I'm looking to get a little bit leaner, but I'm not being so restricted that I can't recover either. So that's massively important, to keep up the protein and the good nutrition whilst doing all of this so I can recover. And when it comes to the step count of my overall day, I would normally aim to achieve 10 to 15,000 steps a day anyway. In fact, before this running challenge, I would go out in the morning and go for a walk. However, the difference in heart rate and intensity from going for a walk for 5k versus running for 5k is quite different. So that's going to increase the intensity and pick up the heart rate a little bit, and hopefully have a better fitness and fat burning effect. But by doing that and walking and training in the rest of the day, my step count has increased as well, and I've been hitting at least 15,000 steps most days, which, because I'm looking to get leaner and lose body fat, the 5k a day has helped me in the overall equation achieve that. So if you're looking to lose weight, then it's something useful to add on to. Having 30 minutes of cardio a day is a good step. Maybe even an hour of cardio a day, 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes doing something else later on. Like, I often went to the gym, did my weights, and then did a cycle or a row for another half an hour, and that's really helped me lose some body fat. But one of the questions that I'm going to touch on is, am I not afraid of losing muscle? That's one of the most common questions that some of you ask me, no, not really, because I understand nutrition. I take nutrition very seriously. I need to make sure I'm eating enough protein to sustain, maintain and build muscle, as well as continue doing weight training, so I'm actually activating and working the muscles as well. Running, I think so many people are scared of doing cardio, thinking they're going to lose all their gains, but as long as you take nutrition seriously, then that won't happen. So for example, if you do want to gain weight and do cardio, you have to make sure that you're eating enough so you're not in a massive deficit, so then you lose all the weight. You've got to take your nutrition seriously and eat enough to support muscle growth and prevent weight loss happening. One question was, isn't this too much cardio? What is too much cardio? We're all so different. We all have different goals. We all have different journeys. Some people love running. Some people don't love running. Some people like weightlifting. Some people like playing sports. We are all so different. So take on whatever challenge you like, whatever thing that you enjoy. There isn't too much of anything or too little of anything. We're all very individual, independent people. What strength exercises do I recommend alongside running or to supplement running? Well, full body really, but especially lower body. Getting the weights out with barbells or dumbbells and doing squats, lunges, single leg exercises, core exercises. This is all going to help the strength and the power in the legs. A lot of people who like running just go running, but if you supplement that with strengthening in the lower body, your running is going to get so much better. So my pre and post routine would be, before running, it's all about warming up and activating the muscles. So I would just be at home here and I would do things like glute bridges, some stretches, some planks, some walks on my toes so that I get the calves activated. So then when I go out and run, I can be warm and ready to go. And when I finish, then I work on the more static stretches, releasing lactic acid, laying down, stretching my quads, my glutes, and then that should help with the recovery so I'm ready to go the next day. So what did I do when I was running? What did I listen to? What did I think about? Most days I had my earphones in and I was listening to podcasts. Sometimes it was music, but most of the time it's podcasts, a whole variety of sometimes business ones, fitness ones, whatever I want to listen to on that particular day. I do enjoy sometimes just being free in my own mind, letting my mind run, but I quite like listening to something. It helps pass the time, because 30 minutes every single day is a nice routine, but sometimes can get a little bit boring as well. There were some days which were pretty tough for motivation, where I kept procrastinating, it got later and later to do it, but I still did it. And the number one thing was accountability. I had said to you guys that I was doing this, so I was accountable. So a little tip for you guys, if you need the motivation to do something, make yourself accountable. How to protect the knees when doing a challenge like this? I think recovery, like I said, is number one. Recovery from things like ice, having ice, keeping hydrated, eating the right foods, and taking rest days. Don't run 30 days in a row like I've done. I do not recommend it. I think you should take the rest days and run a few times per week. I think a final point is it's quite good for the mind. If you can get out in nature, don't run on a treadmill. It's cold, and that's half the reason why I did it, is to give myself another mental challenge of doing it even when it is cold, because I want to get out in nature. It's really good for your mind, it's really good for your mental health, being active and in nature, so I really recommend it. So to round up this video, I don't recommend running every single day, but if you do want to get better at running, if you want to increase your step count and burn some calories, then I do recommend running consistently. And if it helps you keep the weight off, like it has for me when I'm dieting and trying to eat well, then go for it. But make sure you prioritize your rest and your recovery. So what am I going to do now? I think I'm going to take a couple of days rest, not running, and probably going to pick up running maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and probably try to push the distance a little bit longer as I have the chance to rest a little bit longer in between and get back to just my morning walks. So I'm gonna round it up there. I've blabbed on way too long, longer than I wanted to, so make sure you comment underneath, let me know what you think, and if you think I should do this again with something else like burpees or push-ups or sit-ups or something else, if you think that would be interesting for you, then let me know and I'll give it a go for you. Thanks so much for watching. Click that subscribe button and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.